We're back. September 30th, 2010. To my left, candidate for governor, Councilman Charles Barron. Bob Law. Bob, answer that question. Give it to me.
Yeah, let me do this. I want to come back to the point that I think, an essential point that Charles is making. And then Charles can talk specifically about the program with taxes and for ending the Metropolitan Transit Authority and why that makes sense, and a number of things that we are saying that Cuomo and Palladino couldn't fix their mouth to say. The point is, however, that in order to come up with the right answer, you have to first raise the right question. So people bring us questions and we don't respond automatically to their question because it's the wrong question. And in order to not confuse, we like to take an opportunity to clarify the question.
Okay.
Because when we say that people are in trouble and people are asking politicians, what are you going to do for me? Well, the fact that you have to ask the existing political machinery, what are you going to do, indicates that they have not done anything up to now. So when we come saying that we're offering an alternative, it's important for people to understand and put that in a proper political context, that the fact that people will even come to us with their problems is the very reason that there should be a Freedom Party. See, everything, because you shouldn't have any problems anymore. See, a Freedom Party in the 21st century should not even be necessary.
That's right.
The fact that it is necessary cannot be used as a weapon against those who are organizing the Freedom Party. It's like asking us, why are you organizing the Freedom Party? It's not a legitimate question, because the condition of our people is such that an independent political party is still absolutely necessary.
We agree.
And so we then begin to organize to respond to the condition of our people. You had asked earlier, why a Freedom Party? On one level, it is because of how we feel about our people, but on another level, it is because everything black is being marginalized and denigrated. Everything black is being dismissed, so that black people and Latino people who feel that we are being marginalized and ignored and neglected, we have, therefore, when we talk about Fannie Lou Hamer, we have a historical responsibility to pick up the legacy of a Fannie Lou Hamer and others and organize around our own resources and talents and genius so that we can be responsible for moving our agenda and our concerns forward. Anything else would be a betrayal, not only to this generation, but to the generations who preceded us. We have a historical legacy because everything black is being marginalized. And so politicians, traditional politicians, we say that because Charles Barron is not a politician.
No.
Traditional politicians had made a decision in this year, 2010, to become race neutral. And they thought that by being race neutral, they used code words. See, in a political context, there are certain words that are anti-black: multicultural, diversity, colorblind. In a political context, that's anti-black. So that the brother Fenty, I believe his name was, in Washington, D.C., when he ran his re-election campaign and when he ran his administration, he said he was colorblind. That's why he hired all white staff. See, Andrew Cuomo is colorblind. That's why he hired an all-white staff. Colorblind is a code word for anti-black. So that the Freedom Party becomes necessary to rearrange the dialogue and change the priorities in this city and in this state. The specifics that we have that Charles has laid out, and I always I want him to do it because he does that so well, and making it clear why off the top people might say, oh, they're idealistic radicals, you know, they always, but it makes so much sense, and it really works, because here's what happened. We get into this campaign and we say we want to get 50,000 votes to become a certified party, right? We want to have ballot status, so we get into the campaign. Then we begin to look at the Democrats and the Republicans. We begin to look at the condition of our people and the kinds of things they are saying or not saying in terms of how they would run this state and how they would relate to the masses of black people. As we begin to hear what they say, one thing that occurs to us is that the Freedom Party ideas and Charles Barron's ideas are actually better than Cuomo and Palladino. One of the things that we discovered is that 50,000 votes and becoming a party, that's one level of victory.
Okay.
But we really are the best qualified to run this state. We're not doing this as spoilers. When people say, what about the Democratic Party? How are you going to affect the Democratic Party? I'd be delighted to respond to that question. What is the impact we're going to have on the Democratic Party? But we're not here as spoilers for the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So when they characterize you as a spoiler, then they can ask you, well, what do you really want? Like they did to Jesse in 1984. What does Jesse really want? White folk are such racists, they couldn't possibly vote for the best candidate if the best candidate is black. So what does Jesse want, as opposed to what's wrong with white folk?
Exactly.
And so we're not spoilers. We want to win. And see, this is easy. If Cuomo wants the black and Latino vote, then come to the black community and address their concerns better than us. See, we say that nobody should take your vote for granted, not even the Freedom Party. So the Freedom Party is going out among the people. We're in the street. We're in the forum. We're here. Cuomo ain't coming here. Invite him.
And
Palladino.
we will. That's why we're going to take clips of exactly what we said.
No clips. Forget the clips. You didn't send me no clip. You called me up.
Okay.
Said, I want to talk to you and Charles. Here we are.
Okay.
Don't send him any clips. Don't tell him what we said. Call him up like you called me and see if Cuomo comes here.
Okay.
We are here. We are going to work. We are in the community. We're not asking black people to vote for us just because we are black. We're asking them to vote for us because we are the best qualified. If Cuomo wants the black vote, then relate to the black community better than Bob Law and Charles Barron.
Okay, so Charles, with that, can you tell us some policies?
This is what I want Cuomo and Palladino to top for the black community. We know we have 50% black male unemployment.
Exactly.
We know that we have foreclosures. We know that we have high crime rate. The answer to all of that, you have to have dollars to address these issues. Here's how you get the dollars. They had a $9 billion budget deficit. Next year is going to be similar.
Exactly.
Will Cuomo say that I will support a progressive taxation package? The only way we're going to get money to the hood is if you balance the budget off the backs that those that have it. A stock transfer tax, just 10 to 15 cents on the stocks they're trading on the stock market, get you anywhere from $2 to $4 billion. A personal income tax surcharge for those who are making $500,000 or more, 2.5%. 1 million, 3.5%. 5 million, 4.5%, and 10 million or more, 5.5%. That will get you $8 to $12 billion annually. And that only impacts less than 1% of the state's population. Of the 18 million people, it'll impact 63,000 people will have to make that, and I won't even say sacrifice, give that little chump change to the state. Once we get 8 to $16 billion that way, and you have a $9 billion deficit, then the Freedom Party says, identify the most impoverished areas in the city, the South Bronx, East New York, and that money should go to those communities. Another thing, the city, this is not even the state, just the city has a $15 billion procurement contracting budget where they give out to businesses. We have 16% of the businesses on the city's criteria that meet the city's criteria are black. They get less than 1% of the contracts.
And we spoke about that, and the mayor said,
I'm working on it. It takes time. But the fact of the matter, it's racist to have 16% qualified businesses. Qualified. Bonding, capacity, all of that stuff. Everything. 1%. White male-led companies, 42% qualified. 72% of the contracts. The Freedom Party is going to put an end to that when we have the power to leverage that. Another thing, policing. We know that community policing is the answer, and we know that the answer to crime could not be building more prisons, building more tougher sentencing, more cops. There's a guy in my neighborhood got shot on the same block that the cop was on the corner. economic development and job creation is the answer to crime. We, as a Freedom Party, are going to say, when you go in and you renovate parks, when you go in and have a workforce development program, as a city council member, when they said it was 50% black male unemployment,
Okay.
I went to Speaker Miller at that time, to Mayor Bloomberg, got $34 million in a workforce development program, and we hired or got 6,000 jobs for black and Latino poor working class people in this city. I'm saying those are the things that are specific that the Freedom Party is going to do. Free tuition,
Okay.
two more, and I'm
Okay.
finished. Free tuition and free textbooks for CUNY students. I was chair of the Higher Education
For 8
Committee.
years, you had
That's right.
80 meetings,
That's right.
80
hearings.
80 hearings, 10 a
Absolutely.
year, as you
That's
as
right.
required, and you was still removed from the
Right,
the
but
chair.
forget the remove, but you can have that chair. But the bottom line, what I did do in those 8 years, I did a piece on the fiscal feasibility of free tuition. You know, when CUNY was white, it was free. I didn't pay no tuition.
Neither did Ed Koch.
That's right. So we can get back to that. I looked at how much money they make off tuition, 400 to 500 million, 600 million. How much did they pay into TAP and all of them programs to pay the tuition? Same amount. Put that in the budget, cancel the tuition.
So we can. So your policy will cancel the tuition.
Cancel the tuition, free transportation, dedicate some of that. They get $3 to $4 billion from the transit fare of their $12 billion budget. They get $3 to $4 billion. That PIT surcharge I told you about, personal income tax surcharge,
Yes.
that gets us $12 billion. Take 3 of that, dedicate it to transportation, eliminate the fare.
So we were no longer, based on your policy and the gentleman that you had at your press conference a few days ago, based on your policy, you're saying that everybody in the city can ride on mass transit for free.
Free. And I know people think it's a pipe dream. Oh, that's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. It could happen. And it will happen.
Tell them what you want them to do.
See, the difference between me and the guy,
Yeah,
the guy wanted to pay for the fare through congestion pricing. I'm against that.
Okay.
I want to pay through a dedicated stream from the PIT surcharge profits or revenue generating. Just $3 billion that wipes out.
And that's what we pay yearly into the MTA.
$3 billion.
Okay.
And you can wipe out the fare. See, the $136 billion state budget, a $63 billion city budget. New York City's budget is larger than 48 state budget, larger than every African country's budget. We can't feed children. We can't home the homeless. We can't give people a living wage job. We can't make sure that our youth have youth centers. We can't renovate all the parks in our neighborhoods. We can't bring in new schools to bring class sizes down to 12 or 15 instead of 30 and 40. Of course you can. They don't have the political will to do that. These are the specific programs that the Freedom Party will promote. No one else is going to talk like this, and these things can really, truly happen.
Let me just say one thing.
Wait, Bob. Can we come back after?
I want to come back to what he is saying.
Okay, can we right after the commercial? We'll come right back because they
absolutely.
say
I know about
wrap it
commercials.
up. Okay, we're gonna wrap this segment up and come right back after a brief message from our sponsors.